Hey Dunchbags, what's going on? It's LandonRemixes here, and it is the start of the holiday season, which means two things. One, I have a mustache on my face, which will not be here for very long. I'm going to shave it as soon as I'm done with this review. And secondly, 2016 year wrap-up videos are going to start coming out very soon, so you can anticipate those probably in a little over a week from now. But for now, there's a number of albums and EPs that I missed, so I had better go and get to covering those. And who better to kick that off than Flume with his first Skin companion EP. As you guys may know, Flume is one of my current favorite artists, although it wasn't always that way, but he absolutely blew me away with the release of Skin, his sophomore album. I actually have it up on my vinyl wall. You won't be able to see it because it's above Eden over here, but I assure you, it is there on the wall. I think between his first and second LPs, his production got a lot better, and definitely a lot more poppy, and I seem to enjoy that quite a bit with the album. You guys may or may not be surprised with where the album places on my top 10 albums of 2016 list, but I can assure you it's going to be on there because it was easily one of my favorites. It got a very nice review from myself, and I've got to be real, I've been really stoked to hear this EP ever since I heard the previews, which were on a Record Store Day website, I'm pretty sure. Either way, some website released the previews of all the tracks on this EP, so I was really stoked to hear this content. Even just judging by the previews, they were real solid. Now, for some reason, my thoughts on this EP have fluctuated a little bit, even prior to the release of this, ever since it was announced that it wasn't only going to be a vinyl exclusive when I was going to pick it up myself. Of course, I was excited, oh, I can just listen to it on Apple Music, but I thought that kind of took away the creativity of having a companion EP for Skin, considering I think he originally announced it as just a vinyl exclusive, but then it decided to go to all stores anyway, so that more people can access it, which makes sense. But getting into this thing, it wasn't extremely exciting, and I don't mean that in terms of that this music is bad at all, but more just that it is reflective of the Skin LP so heavily, and that makes sense because it is a companion EP, but I guess this is more of a critique of companion EPs in general instead of this particular companion EP, which I've never actually heard of in a style of physical releases or digital releases. I've heard of B-sides before, but having an actual companion EP, and one that he's planning on doing a series with, considering this is the first of God knows how many companion EPs are going to go along with this, probably 2 or 3 is my guess. But the thing is, the tracks on this EP are so similar to Skin that I don't really feel a need to listen to it. In fact, the only track on this EP that I find myself coming back to again and again is Heater, and that's more or less because the song is extremely reflective of the styles that Flume was putting out when I first started listening to him, like his Tennis Court remix by Lorde. And because of that, and because it's a really accessible instrumental track, I find myself definitely enjoying this one quite a bit, even though it does, like I said, reflect a lot of his former material, more so than the rest of the EP. The tracks Quirk and V for me aren't doing much more than reminding me of the picks that I had with the short instrumental tracks on Skin, which were some of my least favorites on the album. In fact, the vocals of Quirk almost sound like they were directly ripped from the Sessions of 3 from the Skin album. Because I like the Skin LP so much, and it appears that the companion EP series isn't really going to do a lot for me, I almost want to pull Pika When Everything Was New and 3 off of the Skin album and then put it onto, just throw it onto another companion EP instead, just to get rid of those tracks and make it more of a flowing album. In my opinion, I think it would have been a little more cohesive without those instrumentals, just because of the pop sounds he was trying to push through. I think it would have blended a little bit better. If I was MOM+POP, the label that releases Flume's music, I probably would have set up these EP and album releases a little bit differently, taking all the wonky chill out music from the Skin album and combining that with the instrumentals on this EP, and I think that could have made a really cohesive EP release that would do a lot of fan service too to Flume's former fans. In turn then, and this is the biggest compliment I'm going to give about this EP, I would take Trust from this and move it onto the Skin LP, because I think it's a very quality pop track and something that I have truly have not heard yet. Just like the Skin LP, I love it how the pop vocals on this one combine really well with the wacky R&B and future bass production. I definitely think that's one of Flume's strong suits, and I'd love to see him keep progressing in that direction because I really like this track. Especially the little bubble pops in the production, I thought that was really cool. The thing is, I know exactly what this EP is supposed to be, and that is that it's a body of work that fits very snug into the Skin LP, and although some people might love this, I just don't, because if I listen to this back to back, it would kind of be like when you buy the deluxe version of an album, like the Target exclusive that I've often got when a certain artist that I like has a release there. And it has like 8 extra songs, but you tend to always glance over them because they don't really add that much to the album's track list. That's kind of how I feel about this EP. Like, it's there, and there's some quality on it, and it sounds a lot like Skin, which I love the sound of, but it's just not really adding a lot to what the Skin LP was. And I definitely think that if you are a completely random listener that just happened to come across this EP and never actually listened to Skin, you might find a lot of enjoyment in this just because it takes those sounds and puts them in a way that kind of serves as a little sampler of the album without actually including any tracks from the album. But as such a big fan of the work of art that Skin was, this EP just really isn't doing much for me. Like I already said, the music is really good. Flume is a top-notch producer, there's definitely no doubting that, but I think this EP is strongly lacking some cohesion as well as its overall experience. I'm feeling a decent to strong 5 out of 10 on this one, but that's only my opinion. As always, I have the Spotify link down in the description so you guys can go check it out if you'd like to, and like I said, there are a couple really good ones on this EP, so I definitely say it would be worthwhile to check out my favorites on this one, and you might like the others too. Who knows? If you did like this EP though, let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'd like to hear your thoughts, as always, and anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'm gonna go shave my mustache. I'm LandonRemixes, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.